VO2 max is an unbelievably good indicator of longevity, health span, if not the best predictor. People with a better VO2 max are very, very likely going to be living longer, healthier lives. It is what it is. So what do? Well, you improve your VO2 max. How would you go about doing that? The answer is not ideal. You have to do VO2 max training, and that's not fun. So what does this look like? I would say one high intensity VO2 session per week. You can do this on a stationary bike, a rowing machine, a treadmill. I would say the best way of doing it, certainly for me and many others, would be the assault bike. The reason being, it's a much more intense form of exercise. It's a lot easier to get into that peak range, that VO2 max range. Yes, ideally for VO2 max testing, you want to be wearing a mask that basically measures some gases, oxygen in, oxygen out, and gives you an idea of your actual VO2 max. Now, obviously, we can't all do that in a gym setting. So what I would say is good indicators to go off are heart rate zones. You want to definitely be in zone 5. So the idea is you warm up for about 10 minutes, at least, maybe 15, and incrementally increase the difficulty on what you're doing, whether it's increasing the intensity or increasing the level, for example, on the bike, to make it harder to turn those pedals. In doing that, you'll slowly raise your heart rate, low zone 4, really high zone 3, at least. And then you can start your first interval. So generally speaking, when it comes to VO2 max training, you're doing anywhere from 2 to 4 intervals, give or take. Now there's a load of different protocols here. Different people like different ones. There's sort of no right or wrong. It seems that any kind of VO2 max training is good. So the one that I'm typically doing would be 4 rounds, okay? So effectively what you're doing is absolute max effort for as long as you can, ideally around at least a minute to 4 minutes max. If you can do 4 minutes, you're a god, quite frankly. I can barely get to a minute and a half, but we are talking max effort. Ideally have a chest mounted heart rate monitor. This way you can track your heart rate a lot more accurately. The watches are okay, but the problem is there's going to be a slight delay. And also if you're on an assault bike, you need to be checking it somehow while you're training. Doesn't work great. So what I personally do is I wear a heart rate monitor, link it to my phone, I can see it right in front of me, I know where my heart rate is, and I know what I'm chasing for. So for me, as a 25-year-old, my peak heart rate is around that 195 range, okay? So I know by being 190 plus 195 and also feeling like I'm gonna die, I'm probably in the right range for VO2 max, okay? So you get to that range and you maintain it for as long as possible, and it is horrible. It really, really is horrible. Torture yourself through that minute. If you can get a minute, that's really impressive, by the way. The majority of people can't actually get a minute. And then rest for as long as you need. You're definitely gonna need double the amount of time that you hit the VO2 max range for, at least. And then you go again, and then you go again, and then you go again. 2 rounds is great, 3 rounds is great, 4 rounds is great. You can make sure to progress on these with time. You don't need to smash it all out in one. Do that once per week alongside some other forms of cardio training, like zone 2 training, for example, being on the bike for an hour, or a long walk or a hike, and you're in a pretty good range. So really weekly, 1 intense VO2 max session per week. You could do 1 more intense thing per week if you wanted to. I'd argue you don't really need to. And definitely some resistance training alongside some base zone 2 cardio, like maybe 2 to 4 zone 2 cardio sessions per week if you have the time. And if you're doing that, you're definitely in the right range, okay? So I hope you enjoyed the video. You know what you need to do. Give it a go. VO2 is not easy. It is flipping rough. In fact, so many people find it so hard to actually get into that VO2 range because it's just so hard to maintain. It's painful, it feels shit, but what I will say is you feel amazing afterwards. You feel absolutely amazing afterwards. So definitely give it a go. Let me know how you get on in the comments or drop me a DM over Instagram. Enjoy, and I'll catch you again in the next video, which again, I'll have no idea what it is, but I'll post it next week for sure. Until then, I'll see you next week.